Welcome to the Melia Movement Podcast. This podcast brings reality, it brings real people into the limelight of you watching this. Every single guest has been through something traumatic in life and now is doing absolutely truly incredible things. I want to share their relatable journeys and exactly how they get there. A big thanks to my sponsors, Amplified Nutrition, who provide tailored nutrition and training plans to help people improve their lifestyle and love the body they're in.
Baby. Melia Movement, baby.
Jordan, welcome.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you for coming down. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Just had to get you over from Australia to be able to do it.
Yeah, I flew back just for this, mate.
Flying in, jet setter.
Just for the podcast.
Just for the podcast. I'm unbelievably excited for this one, mainly because I can't wait for people to see the Jordan that is going on in this world now. I've had the presence of you for a couple of weeks now. I've learned so much. You're definitely a presence and an energy that every time you leave, I'm just like, come back. I'm learning so much, and it's nice living in a city that I get to have such a close friend come in and be able to teach me, and it's similar energies and interests. I think we spent hours just, sitting in the front room the other day just talking about life. It was so special, and no narcotics were involved, which is quite good. So I'm really excited to dig deep into this now, because I really want people to learn who Jordan Biffen is now and who the impact you're having on the world. It's going to be controversial because a lot of people will be like, wouldn't see how you live now and things as normal, but what the fuck is normal?
What is normal, mate?
Exactly, what is normal. So thank you so much for coming on, and you're going to be opening up. So I ask all my guests from the start, who was little Biff growing up, and the journey that you've been on to Big Biff today.
Yeah. Well, firstly, thanks for having me, mate. It's good to be here. Yeah, after seeing, the impact that you're having on the world, and where we were a few years ago to where we were now, and suddenly we're here on a podcast. So yeah, appreciate you having me on here. It's a question where, who was little Biff? Who was little Biff? I guess, my upbringing, it was like, I'll just start going in pretty deep. It's quite vulnerable. Like, I've told people this sort of stuff. Even now I can feel it, some emotion coming up, like my dad was a heroin addict. And I don't really have too many memories. Like, I do have one of my earliest memories is actually being like my mum locking me and her in the bathroom because there was some trouble going on with my dad, and the police came round and he was having a fight with the police on the front garden, and my mum sort of hid us in the bathroom to obviously protect us. And then after that, like, my dad got clean pretty quick, but I think those first few years of my life, even though, if you think back to when you were younger, you can't really remember it that much. But like, I think what happens in those early years does have some sort of impact, So I'd say the early few years of my life probably were quite difficult in the household, and, what was going on there with my dad, and lots of trouble in the house, from what I've been told by my mum. Little Biff, young Biff probably had, a bit of challenge, growing up where I grew up. And then, after that, I had a pretty good upbringing, very loving family, loving mum, loving dad. Even though he went through some stuff, he still done the best that he could, and I know that he continues to do the best that he can. And then I guess growing up in school, secondary school, when I was like 13 years old, or even 11, actually started smoking weed, started doing drugs way too young. I think I done coke, first line of coke when I was like 12, up in Down on Court Flats in Mile Oak. Done pills, doing pills when I was like 13. Started hanging out with kids older than me. Who were like 16, 17, who were known in the area as like, criminals basically. So kind of got sucked into that way of life of just being a little shit, just, you know, robbing houses, robbing cars. Got arrested a few times for shoplifting, for burglary. So from the age of like 11 until the age of 16, that was kind of my life. Knocking about with these older kids and doing drugs, robbing stuff to earn money to buy drugs. My mum says now that, you know, sometimes I wouldn't come home and it would be late at night and she'd get worried and she'd either have to phone the police station or phone the hospital, you know, to see where I was. And most of the time I was at the police station. So I had quite a turbulent upbringing. Yeah.
So do you think knocking about with the wrong type of people and getting involved in drinking drugs was because you didn't want to be sort of, the home life wasn't the safe home life, but being accepted by others?
Yeah, I think it is kind of that. I think it's like I wanted to be part of something, you know? And like I said, I had a very loving family. Even during that time, my family was still very loving and very supportive. It's not like I had, you know, a mum that didn't love me or a dad that didn't care about me, that made me go out. It was just like, I just wanted to be like this fucking bad man, you know? I wanted to be respected at school and like, you know, I used to think that I was getting in fights at school and, you know, I used to think that I was one of the hardest at PCC and, you know, and like I had a bit of a reputation and I kind of liked that, you know, I liked it, you know, and a good friend, more friend of yours, Declan Peake, was like, you know, when he heard about me, he was like, I want to fight this Jordan Biffen kid, you know? And I think you and him actually got on the bus that time. Was you there?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, you offered me out and I was like, oh no, I can't, I've got work or something. I just put it off because I was like, this kid's fucking massive. Like, I'm not gonna fucking stand a chance to get this kid.
Shout out Deck.
Yeah, shout out Deck. Yeah.
So that reputation, it becomes addictive.
Yeah.
It becomes so addictive of like, I mean, we've grown up together. We've done, you know, 6 years living abroad, summers together, and you know, having that lad reputation, it does become quite addictive, and it becomes your identity.
Yeah.
So, how much of an impact do you think that had on who? Because obviously, having that from such a young age, you then get scared to drop it and be known as anything else. So, talk to me about sort of going through school. I kind of felt at that time I felt like I had this reputation to uphold, you know. So all right, I built this reputation of, you know, this hard guy, you know, that smokes weed and, you know, rides his crosser down up the streets and, you know, has police chases and stuff like that. And and once you build that, you build an identity for yourself out of it, you know. But then I don't know, something clicked for me when I was about 16. I was coming up to my GCSEs and I was like, you know, I don't know, something just clicked. I was just like, I can't, you know, I want to start hanging around with kids my own age and, you know, I want to be able to go to college and whatever. And luckily I was quite intelligent. I was in all the top groups. So like for the last 6 months, I just tried at school, managed to get like 5 C's, which was just enough to get into college. So like managed just to scrape through. Started hanging around with kids my own age, got a girlfriend at that time, and that's how I met you. You know, it was through my ex-girlfriend at the time, and it's just started. I was like, I don't want to continue doing this life of crime. Yeah,
you know, it's like I can see the kids who I was hanging around with, and even the kids older than them were in and out of prison. You know, and I don't know, something just clicked in me. I was like, I don't want that to be my life. You know, there's more to life than fucking. Yeah.
But at that age, sometimes it's hard to see that, especially when you're surrounded by, if you're surrounded by older people that aren't achieving, you don't know any different.
And that's it. Yeah. But I'm very grateful that, you know, something inside me, I don't know, it was just like life had different plans for me, you know, and I was just like, right, I need to switch it up a bit, you know? So
we become friends.
Yeah.
So for the people that obviously don't know the journey that you've been on, how was sort of your teenage years? And, you know, because it wouldn't have been easy to come away from drink and drugs then. How was your teenage years?
Yeah, well, even though I stepped away from the life of crime that I was living, you know, no longer was I stealing cars and robbing houses and robbing drug dealers and stuff, but I was still taking a lot of drugs. And I think it was September 2009 was when we left school. And that was when MCAT was around, meow meow, you know, and that was just swept across the UK, you know, and I'm sure many people who probably watch this from Brighton can, you know, relate to that. And yeah, so got pretty heavily into that. Like my ex-girlfriend at the time, like she would just turn up at my house at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon with a couple of bags, and we would just, you know, just in my front room just doing it, you know, just me and her. You know, she'd come and knock on my door, wake me up. You know, I'd wake up and just fucking sniff a line straight away. Like it was fucking, yeah. And I went to a pretty dark place actually, like dropped out of college. I was going to Worthing College. Just couldn't get out of bed in the mornings, you know, from staying awake for days on end. Just had like big black rings under my eyes, you know, lost a lot of weight. Yeah, my whole life was just focused basically on just doing drugs, and it kind of sucked me into this downward spiral, which, you know, was quite common for a lot of people. You know, we had a lot of friends as well in our circle, and it was common, you know, it wasn't just me, it was a lot of people went down that slippery slope. Yeah, and I was smoking a lot of weed, sniffing a lot of MCAT, drinking a lot of alcohol. It was a tough place to be in, you know. It was a tough place.
So you said it would have been very lost.
Yeah, it was like I didn't have any direction, I didn't have any purpose, you know. I tried going to college but dropped out. Was in a very toxic relationship, you know. There was lots of arguments, lots of cheating on each other, treating each other like shit. I mean, there was love there, but we were young, we were immature, we didn't know how to navigate that love, you know.
You never do at that age. I'm excited to touch on your knowledge on relationships later on. So then I think college, you didn't finish college. So did you go into working? What was you doing?
Yeah, I think I managed to find a job. I found a job in a call centre somewhere when I was like 17. Stayed there for a bit, but ended up losing that job just because I was just going out on benders all the time and not coming to work, not even phoning in sick. And so there's still, lots of partying on the weekends, lots of drug taking. But I wasn't like, I wouldn't say I was a drug addict. You know, in some ways there was definitely addictive behaviours and addictive tendencies. I mean, you know me from what I used to be like. I was always the first one out and the last man standing, you know. I was always, you know, the party goer. But I would never say that I was a full-blown drug addict. Like, it never got to the point where I had to fucking, you know...
Go to meetings.
Yeah, and like sell my stuff or go to meetings. It's like... Yeah, I've always been quite strong-minded. It's like if I decide to do something, like I'll do it. If I decide to stop, I'll stop. You know, if I go all in on something, I'm all in.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always had quite strong will that way. But yeah, the ways that I was partying and taking drugs, it just it impacted. Work. Lost a few jobs. You know, didn't complete college the first 2 times. It was only the 3rd time in a row of completing college that I actually made it to university. And that was right up until, I guess when I was, what age was I? Yeah, even when we were going away in Napa, you know, it was like I was still, you know, taking a lot of drugs and, I was searching. You know, when I look back on it now, it's like I was searching for something. I was just searching for, I don't know, I was searching just to have the best feeling that I could, you know. And when you're just with drugs, it's a never ending chase because you're always going to be wanting more, you know. And it was a difficult time for sure. Yeah.
How dark were the dark times?
Pretty dark. Anxiety, depression, you know, especially towards the end. Even in our last summer, 5 years ago, you know, our last summer in Ibiza, you know, after days of getting on it, You know, I just wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I would just be fucking a bundle of anxiety, you know. I would just want to stay in my room and lock myself away, you know, and just couldn't even fucking make eye contact, you know, and just, yeah. And there was a few, I mean, I don't think I've ever been suicidal, but I did contemplate like, oh, what would it be like to just take my life, you know? And it wasn't coming from a place of like, oh, this is really horrible, but it was just like considering like, oh, you know, what would it be like? And I think that was just, you know, the impact that drugs can have. When you've been up for days, you just start, your mind goes to some dark places, you know?
That's when the paranoia and anxiety kick in.
Yeah.
Serotonin levels just go.
Yeah, it just drains your serotonin, you know? So... Yeah, there was definitely quite a few dark moments, yeah.
Family, were they worried about you? We know Mads, we love Mads, big up Mads.
Yeah, big up Mads, yeah.
So how was mum?
Yeah, she I think she used to worry a lot about me and, you know, the ways in which that I used to push my body. I remember once I came back after a night out and it was actually a few days after I got back from doing a summer in Ayia Napa. And I was withdrawing from alcohol and I'd also just been up for 2 days on a massive bender. And if anyone listening to this is withdrawn from alcohol, it's not a fucking pleasant experience. Like, I started having a panic attack, you know, I started getting the shakes and getting all fucking anxious. And because I've been up for 2 days doing loads of drugs, I thought I was having a heart attack. I was trying to sleep and my heart was just getting faster and faster and faster and boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, got so panicky. I was like, fuck, I think I'm having a heart attack. And I was at home and I was like, Mum, can you call an ambulance? And, you know, she was crying and actually I was just having a panic attack because I was withdrawing from the alcohol. But, you know, they had to take me to hospital and done some tests and had like a swollen liver and stuff from all the alcohol, which, you know, is pretty normal for, you know, when you're drinking that shit alcohol in Napa every day for 3 months, that's, you know, but, so, yeah, it was, you know, when you push your body to those limits, not just physically, you know, you're feeling the physical effects, but also the psychological effects, you know, it's not a nice experience.
That's fucked. So, we went to Ayia Napa for our first, did you come on the holiday?
I did, yeah.
The holiday in 2011, wasn't it?
2011, yeah. I didn't come to Malia.
Yeah.
I think you boys went to Malia, but then...
Come to Napa
I come to Napa.
That's when you come into the group.
Because that's when I was like coming to the group. I got away from my criminal friends.
Yeah.
Started hanging around with the boys my own age and went to Napa on our first lads holiday, didn't we, when we were like 17.
And then we went, the year afterwards was our first summer.
Yeah. 2012.
That was an experience in itself.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience, wasn't it?
Talk to me about you as the person in your season. What was going through your head? Because it must have been paradise for you. Just if you was at home and you was getting on it before, going to somewhere like that, it's just like fuck.
Yeah, but I just come out of that relationship. I mean, that was we got back together again after that, but we split up. Basically some stuff happened. I was like, I'm just gonna go with the boys, do a season, and then I remember the night before I went, my ex, she stayed round, and we woke up in the morning. And it was tough because she was crying. She was begging me not to go. But I did something and was inside telling me like, you just need to go. You know, you need to go. You need to get out of this relationship. So that was tough. It was tough to leave someone that I loved a lot at that time. But then I was very wounded. I was very wounded from the relationship. As I mentioned before, there was a lot of cheating and stuff and a lot of mistrust. And so I basically learned I believed, I formed a new belief from that relationship that I can't trust women and that all women are going to hurt me. So I need to fuck them over first, you know, so I don't get hurt. Because if I fuck them over, they're going to be unable to hurt me.
Yeah,
you know?
Programming.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a way of protecting myself of like, I'm not going to let myself get emotionally close to anyone because if I let myself get emotionally close, I'm just going to end up getting hurt down the line. You know, and actually, so what I need to do is I need to treat them like shit because then they can't hurt me. Yeah. You know? So that's the kind of the mindset that I think that's so common. I mean, I was
14, I think it was. First love, absolutely fucking, and then one of the lads ended up sleeping with him, and then I was like, fuck, I've been done over here by 2 people that I trusted. And then from the age of 14, no trust, no faith, no in anyone. I had no respect for women. I had nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't hurt me if I hurt you first.
Yeah.
If I don't give a fuck about you and show that I don't care, you can't hurt me.
Yeah.
So then that feeling will never ever come back.
Yeah.
Oh, it bites you in the arse, though, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. Yeah. It takes a lot of painful experiences for us to finally realise. But yeah, me and you, I think we're definitely in a similar place around that time.
Yeah.
You know, we'd been hurt. You know, we were going off to do our first season, and it
was definitely a place to hit the fuck it button and hide your insecurities, because you've got, if you're a lad over there, you've got no worries about seeing weak as anything, because the whole point of going away to do summers is to sleep with as many girls as you really can and just drink as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's the sole purpose of a summer away.
Yeah, yeah. And it's basically this feeding like a never-ending hole, you know? And it's like, I think partly, I'll speak for myself, maybe you can resonate as well, but part of the reason why I, you know, wanted to fuck as many girls as I could was to like fuck the pain away, you know? Yeah. It's like, I want to feel worthy. I want to feel powerful, you know? Like, my ex cheated on me, so that maybe made me think that I'm not good enough. Yeah. So I'm going to fuck as many women as I can, because then I'm good enough. Yeah. If women want to sleep with me, then I feel powerful. I feel worthy. I feel like people want to be with me. And that makes me feel the way that my ex didn't make me feel, you know?
Self-validation.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's trying to fulfill the ego, you know? But it's just a never-ending spiral. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's definitely fun times, you know, some of the best years of my life, I'm not going to deny that. And also there was a lot of unhealthy behaviour, which actually probably created a lot of trauma for those women. Yeah. You know, I speak for myself, I was probably the result of, you know, some traumatic experiences for a lot of women. And I take full ownership and responsibility of that as well.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. There's definitely, I was thinking, and to be fair, any of the women that we know that we proper hurt, we wish happiness on every single one of them. When I had a breakdown, I tried to reach out to every single girl that I've hurt and just be like, look, I'm so sorry for the way that I've treated you. I'm so sorry for, you know, probably having narcissistic tendencies. I'm so sorry for maybe coming across manipulative. Like, it was just coming from a place of pain and anger. Some replied, some didn't. Most of them all now, as far as I know, are happy as fucking Larry. And my God, them fellas need a fucking handshake, because I know the trauma that they would have been able to carry. And you don't realise we did carry the guilt. I think even doing it, there was guilt there, but it's this ego driven where it's like, I can't show I give a fuck. It's like, I'll just go out and there's another one. Then there's another one. Then there's another one. And then you do just fuck the pain away. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think when you first come into our friendship group, we never really saw eye to eye. I think there was always an elephant in the room.
I think there was a bit of competition between us. You know, I think, you know, you summed it up. I don't know when it was. I think it was in Ibiza that, you know, those kitchen sessions where we would just open up to each other after a big night. But we were always trying to outdo each other. Yeah. You know, there was like some competition there, you know. And I mean, there was friendship and there was love for each other, but it was like, there was this rivalry between us.
It was like unspoken about rivalry. It was like I think out of the group, it would have been like, who's the alpha male?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, who can be, you know,
who can be the boy,
who can shag the most birds, who can get who can get the most fucked up. Like,
and if you actually think about it now, how close we've grown together, it's like, imagine if them two souls just dropped that ego and the friendship would have been. Because now it's like, I can't even put into words how we are, but imagine if we didn't have the ego, imagine if we were vulnerable, imagine if we were emotionally open at that young age. Them two lost souls, think of how much we would have solved a lot sooner. But when you're ego driven and it's fucking like, I need to go and outdo this person, and, you know, I don't need to come across as I actually do respect this person, it grew a lot of friction. Yeah, no, definitely, So we got back from summers. Do you remember that time we got back and it was like, fuck, like, we're getting the shakes, and we went like 2 weeks. I think my parents are away. Mum, if you're watching this, it wasn't me that broke anything in the house. But remember, we had to like drink every night when we got back because of the shakes. And I definitely feel there was a lot of codependency there. I was scared to be on my own in the evenings and stuff. and I don't really think the impact of mental health has on you, because everything out there would have been subconsciously. You're living at such a fast pace that you don't actually understand what you're registering. It's all just going into a filing cabinet.
Yeah.
And every year, filing cabinet. Don't worry. So when you got back, talk to me about sort of, you went to university, wasn't it, after your first year?
So I managed to get into uni up in Leeds, went up there, studied sports science, and it was good. Like I was still partying a lot, like, but I was like, I found that balance of like, you know, when I party, when I work, you know. I was very committed, you know, because I like put my mind, you know, like I said, when I put my mind to something, I do it. So yeah, university was good. There wasn't any trouble, like, for me up there. Like I started to turn my life around a little bit, you know, started going to the gym more and started focusing more on like living a healthy lifestyle, like still going out, and, you know, there was still that part of me that when I went out, I couldn't stop, you know. As soon as I have a drink or do a line or do a bump or whatever, it's like, that's it, you know. It's like, I'm out for 2 days, you know, until I literally pass out. That's the only thing that will stop me, until I can't keep my eyes open anymore. So, so
completed one of the hardest courses at uni.
It was a very scientific course, and really proud of myself. Although I'm not really using it at the moment, it was like prove to myself, you know, if I put my mind to something, I can do it. You know, so I'm proud of myself for that.
What was the course you done? Just let everyone know.
Sport and exercise science.
Mad.
Yeah. So
So then we went off again.
Yeah.
Talk to me about sort of, because then it would have been just the normal and momentum. For me, I just had too much of an ego. I couldn't go into a job. I just didn't have it in me to see someone that was so good at rugby and then old and all of a sudden he's working somewhere. I just couldn't allow myself to do it. I've only recently really just worked that one out. So talk to me about, you know, the next 3 to 4 years of just going away and doing the summers. Because to do 6 summers away, 2, 3 is all right. You go and enjoy yourself. But then when you start telling people, you know, this is my 5th one or this is my 6th one, alarm bells start ringing in your own head going, am I actually doing this because I enjoy it now, or am I doing it because it's a habit and I'm scared to break it? So just talk to me about the process of, you know, sort of the momentum of doing them 3 to 4 years extra.
I guess I'd done 3 years in Napa, and then Nick, one of our best mates, was like, he wanted to go to Ibiza, and I was like, and then you wanted to go back to Napa, and I was like, no, I'm not going away again. You know, I'm going to stay in Brighton. I'm going to get my head down, save up a bit of money, maybe go traveling during my break of university, go to Thailand or something, just have a chilled one. I can't keep doing that to myself. And then spoke to you, and then you were like, come on, just come over, come back to Napa. So I was like, all right, book my flight. And then I spoke to Nick, and you know what Nick's like, he could sell sand to the Arabs.
Did
like,
he steal you from me? I don't know about this.
Yeah. And then I spoke to him, and he was like, mate, you need to get, he was like, you need to get over to Ibiza. He's like, and I'd never been before.
Yeah.
He was like, trust me, you need to come. And I was like, this is going to be dangerous, but I need to do it. So I sacked that flight off.
I never knew that Nick stole you from me.
Yeah. Bring that up next
Shout
week.
out Bubble, you prick.
Yeah.
Ibiza, probably the worst place for you to possibly
Probably
go.
the worst place, yeah. But I mean, I was into my music, and I don't need drugs to have a good time, but yeah, it's fucking. I'm sure many people can relate who've been to Ibiza. It's like, you know, it's like if you like taking drugs, it's like fucking going to heaven, you know.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You know, probably more bad in many ways, especially if you haven't got any self-control. So yeah, I just went. You know, I was selling drugs. You know, selling drugs over there, as most people do over there. Doing most of the drugs. You know, number one rule: don't get high on your own supply. I definitely wasn't following that rule. But just living day to day, you know. I was just spending my money, going out, just living the proper Ibiza worker life, you know, staying on a fucking sofa in Nick's apartment, and it was just sweaty, it was dirty, you know, and just, it was an experience. But yeah, I came back skin and bones, you know, even after I was only there for 6 weeks that year, and yeah, it just ruined me. But I continued to go back each year. The other years were better. I lived more comfortably, and I wasn't really smashing it as hard.
More structure,
more a bit more discipline, a bit more self-control. But still. still earning money, selling drugs, you know, kind of. And it's the same thread as, you know, being in Napa and having that ego and building up that ego of, you know, being a worker and shagging all these birds. And Ibiza's a lot different. It's not about shagging all birds every night, but there's still this part like, yeah, I'm a worker and I'm selling drugs, and it's like, you know, it's an ego trip, you know? 100%. Yeah. So that was the next few years in Ibiza.
Season number 6, I came out and joined you.
Yeah.
That was, I think I was nervous for that one because it was like, I'd never really seen you. You was going to uni and stuff, and you even said you didn't really know what the energy was going to be like, because I didn't leave that lad environment of Napa. So,
yeah. And was that your first time in Ibiza?
That was I'd been on holiday before, but that was my first experience of doing the summer there.
The
review boys have come out to run that mini empire that we set up.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the most, that was the turning point, I think, for me, in the sense of like on the breakdown that happened to me afterwards. How much of an impact did that last one have on you? Because, you know, I remember we'd had a heavy night, and you come into the kitchen with your yoga mat, and then everything just started to change for you and then on. Because we had conversations like deep, we used to call them the counselling sessions.
Yeah.
We'd be on the terrace and be like, who's coming back for the counselling session?
Yeah.
So talk to me about the change, because I saw a massive change in you after about 2 months in.
Yeah. I think after so many years of abusing my body and taking lots of drugs, lots of alcohol, and having lots of unconscious connections with people, and by unconscious I mean unhealthy, you know, I was still, you know, sleeping with different women, and it wasn't, you know, doing stuff behind their backs, and there was quite a lot of occasions where, you know, women who I was connecting with would, you know, they would be upset and they'd be hurt by my actions, and it's got to a point, you know, it just continued, you know, every woman that I was relating with, it was kind of like I was leaving a trail of destruction behind me, you know, and I was just like, and I don't know, something happened in Ibiza. I was just off my nut at Music On once, and I was just like, something was just like clicked in me, like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I could feel myself being a better person. I was more caring, you know, we had more of a connection, you know, had more of a connection with my friends and my family, and I was doing stuff to be a better person, but it's got to the point of like, I need to make more changes in my life, you know. I can't keep treating women like shit. I can't keep abusing my body like this. Like, there has to be more to life than just getting fucked up and sleeping with women and not really experiencing deeper intimacy. You know, I want to live a healthy life. I want to be somewhere where I live in community with people, you know, where there's this love, you know, where there's this love, where there's appreciation for each other, where you don't have to try and be a certain way, or, you know, where it doesn't matter what fucking clothes you wear. It doesn't matter if you're part of the cool group or whatever. It's just like, you're just accepted for who you are.
Unbelievable.
You know, and I didn't even know a place like that existed, you know, but that's what I desired. I was like, I just want that, you know? So, yeah, and that's kind of, and then I started reading some, you know, the standard spiritual self-help books, The Power of Now, and, you know, the stuff you read when you're at the beginning of your journey. And I was like, reading this book, like, oh, so it suddenly clicked, like, oh, so I'm actually not my thoughts. Like, so my thoughts aren't actually me. And it was just like mind blown, you know?
I remember, I think you come and got the book out of my room.
Yeah.
And then that was the change. So going into your spirituality journey, obviously we had the summer of our lives in Ibiza.
Yeah.
Cleared up with what we set out to do. Both lost the plot massively on a few occasions. We were the last ones to sort of have our heads together.
Yeah.
We then went off to South America.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that experience, because I think that was a proper wake-up call for you, that you were just like, this just isn't me anymore.
Yeah. So, yeah, I went to South America with 2 good friends. And it was incredible. Like, we were doing lots of adventure stuff, you know, doing all the hikes and all the stuff, but we were still just going out and getting on it. And yeah, there was one time where I just, you know, I'd been up for a couple of days. You know, South America is obviously the cocaine capital of the world, so it's dirt cheap there, and it's a lot more pure, and it's, yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of messy nights, and there was one time where afterwards I was just like, I'm just done. I just cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm done. And yeah, so I decided to go off on my own. And you know, my 2 mates were very understanding and supportive, you know, as they would be, you know, being good friends. yeah, and then I just went off on my own, and I left Colombia, flew to Panama, arrived at this hostel, and I think I was journaling or like thinking to myself, I can't remember exactly, but I was just like, I want to get into, I've never really done yoga that much, but I was like, I just want to go, do yoga, do meditation, live a healthy lifestyle, be around people that doesn't involve getting fucked up all the time, and live in community and be in nature and stuff. And suddenly this guy walks through the door.
Universe.
Suddenly this guy walks through the door. Like, I always remember this moment. This is one of the most standout moments of my life so far. This guy walks through the door and he was like, oh, I've just arrived at the hostel. I'm going to be helping out here, doing some volunteering. I'm going to be running some yoga classes while I'm here. And I was like, fuck, like that's too much of a coincidence, I was like, I was chatting to him. I was like, I was just thinking to myself like 10 minutes ago, I want to do some yoga. And then he was like, oh yeah, I just got off the plane from this island in the Bahamas called Paradise Island, and it's like this yoga retreat, and it's beautiful white sand, blue water, paradise, beautiful women, amazing vegetarian, vegan food. You do yoga and meditation each day. And he was like, it's transformed my life. And like immediately, do you know when you get goosebumps, right? And every hair on your body stands up, and like I've even got it now. And that happened to me, and he was like, oh, I'm happy to have more of a chat if you want. And I was like, I don't know. And then fear overtook that feeling. I was like, oh, I'll chat to you tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, sweet. And then I went to the toilet. I looked at myself in the mirror and I still had that goosebumps. And in that moment, I just took that as a sign. Like, I need to go and speak to this guy. Like this, this is too good to be true. So yeah, I went out and chatted to him all night, and he told me all about it, and I was like, I'm fucking doing it. So I applied and I got accepted, and then traveled up from Panama, Costa Rica, and like up Central America, flew to the Bahamas, and then went to this yoga retreat. And I was so close to not going. This fear in me was like, what if it's too spiritual for you? What if you don't fit in? What if, what if this, all the what ifs, all these doubts. And I was just like, but what if you don't go and, you dismiss the best opportunity, to change and to experience what it is that I wanted to experience. So I went there, and yeah, completely transformed me, taught me a new way of life.
Absolutely incredible. And that is the power of thought. Yeah. Instead of letting your thoughts control you, you're like, well, what if this feeling, what if this does work out exactly how I want it to work out? And I don't think a lot of people actually understand how powerful that is, because think of the feeling when you get that success. I have it in the gym, like think of the feeling when that set's done, or think of the feeling when you come off that coaching call, or if you go to a network event, think of the feeling when you're ringing your parent and being like, oh my God, this has happened. And that drives me so fucking much. Yeah,
for sure. And yeah, I think naturally there's going to be fears there, but there was an opportunity there for me which I wanted to experience. All I had to do was move through the fear. And it's like, I think it applies to anything in life. It's like if you want to get better at something, if you want to experience something, you just have to move through the fear. You have to do the experience to achieve it. It's like same with like public speaking or whatever. It's like if you want to be a good public speaker, you just have to do it. That's the only way to get better at it, is to actually just do the thing, And
it's having the thought of just like, what the fuck, what is the worst thing that could possibly happen? So when I done my first public speaking, worst thing that happens is that I stall. I have to take a minute and I can go back to my knowledge, or no one laughs. That's fine. That wasn't meant to be funny. But what is the worst thing that could possibly fucking happen? Because there's always success on the other side of that fear.
Always lessons, always growth. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? It's like, you might forget your lines, or you might feel nervous. What do you fucking do? Like, you're not going to die, But I think there's a feeling in our nervous system that it's like very primal, that if people like reject us or don't laugh at us, our nervous system thinks we are going to die. But actually we're not, we don't live in those days anymore, so it's, like moving through that fear.
So you moved through that fear. I remember when you got there, I saw a video of it. I thought, you fucking jammy little git. So how was that? Obviously being then manifesting that community together for what you've always wanted.
Yeah, it changed my life. Taught me a new way of living, new way of connecting with people. Opened my heart. Taught me yoga, even though I don't really practice yoga anymore. But at that time, it really supported me. Just to, after months and months, doing those. I think it was like 4 or 5 months in Ibiza, and then 3 months traveling, so 8 months of getting on it, and then suddenly going there and just yoga, meditation, being on the beach, no drugs, no alcohol is what I needed. I just got to get me on the straight and narrow. yeah, so it really helped me just to like switch from a life of drugs and alcohol to a healthier life.
Nervous system.
Yeah,
So thank you.
yeah. My nervous system was fucking crying out for it. So, yeah.
So after the yoga retreat, you've obviously got the bug to go and experience as much love and abundance as you possibly can.
Yeah. I guess at that point in my life, I did go pretty spiritual. I was just like very much into my yoga and meditation and connecting to something greater outside myself, you know, whether you want to call that life or God or the universe. I was just like, just to devote myself to that, you know. So for the next, I went home for the next 4 months. I was working, but also doing a lot of yoga and meditation and stuff. But I just didn't want to be home, so I saved up just enough money to leave and went off to India for 6 months, just me in a backpack traveling around India. And that was a really cool experience. But I didn't really find, I was on this path of like, I just want to find God or find spirituality. And like, I went to all these different communities in India and I never really found what I was looking for until I actually went to Australia. Because although I was like spiritual and doing lots of yoga, I still had this unhealthy relationship to my sexuality. I was still watching porn. I still couldn't control my sexual desires or my sexual urges. And it wasn't until I went to Australia and then I built more of a healthy relationship to my sexuality and learned to, I guess, express it in a more healthy way. And I think that's the piece that I was looking for, that I was missing, you know?
When did you find it?
I was actually in the outback. I was in a small little town called Julia Creek, like 200 people. And I was working a lot, but I was like outside of work, I was just spending a lot of time alone, reading a lot of books around like sacred sexuality and tantra and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, so, you know, sex isn't something that can just, you know, I mean, it doesn't, like, it's not bad to just have sex with a lot of people, but, you know, like, it is actually important if I build more of a healthy relationship to it and like actually treat other people with respect when I'm sexually intimate. And you know, there is a way that I can learn to control my sexual energy and it doesn't just come out, you know, as soon as I have a desire, it just comes out, you know. And so I started doing lots of practices and meditations and stuff like that, focused on building, more of a healthy relationship to it. And that was actually, I felt like, was the missing piece. Because in India, in these spiritual communities, they didn't talk about sex. Sex is very repressed. So it's like, you know, and that's why so many of these Indian gurus are now being exposed for sexual abuse, because they don't deal with their sexual stuff. You know, they might be doing a lot of yoga and meditation, but so that was the missing piece for me in, it building more of a healthy relationship to my sexuality.
Amazing. So how did that obviously fit in? Because there's nowhere on the planet you live the life that we've lived and you don't have any insecurities. How did that plan into sort of, you know, working on them with relationships and how you loved yourself? Yeah.
I guess I went to this week-long retreat. It's mixed gender, so men and women for a week, and it's called ISTA, the International School of Temple Arts. And I went there from the outback, and I hadn't had sex with anyone for over a year. It's been 13 months. Hadn't even kissed anyone for, you know. And
out of choice?
Out of choice, yeah. I basically sat down and said to myself, I'm not going to be intimate with anyone until I've healed myself, until I can actually relate in a healthy way, until I can do it without like traumatizing them, you know? So, and then I went to this ISTA place, which focuses on sexuality and inner child healing and trauma and all that stuff. And there I learned how to have more of a healthy relationship to myself and also how I can healthily relate to other people. So that was probably one of the biggest transformations, is going to that and experiencing that, you know, living with people for a whole week and doing these practices and learning how to, just connect in a more healthy way, you know? And then just, that kind of got me on the momentum of like just going more into myself and unpacking all my attachment trauma, you know, and because I had a tendency to be quite avoidant, you know, or anxious, which is quite common for people who are insecurely attached. And I was just fascinated by relationships, just because I had quite a lot of unhealthy relationships myself, and I didn't want to continue experiencing that.
What was it like being surrounded by all of them people that are just on the same wavelength, no judgment? Because you've gone from a life of crime, doing drugs, doing drink, quite a toxic. I mean, when we was growing up, it was always people bitching about each other. How does it feel to go from that to living with people that just have no judgment and just want pure happiness for you and anyone else?
Yeah, it's
because that's a dream, but you'll never ever get that in a fucking living in a city like we do.
Yeah, it's life changing, you know. And it's like you don't really know what exists out there if you haven't experienced it yet. So people who are living, you know, wherever they might be living, but if you're living in this bubble where people are competing, people are judging, people are putting you down, it's like you don't actually know anything different until you've actually gone out and experienced something different, you know. So for me to experience people welcoming me, you know, regardless of how I looked, or like, you know, they just wanted just to be nice out of the genuine care of their heart, you know.
Authentic.
Yeah, they you know, and it's the goal is like growth. It's like, how can we grow together? You know, how can we be the best possible humans together? And yeah, it was like, okay, this is how I want to live my life. I want to live my life with these sorts of people, you know. I don't want to be surrounded by toxic people. I want to be surrounded by people who lift me up and support me to be the best possible version of myself. And likewise, I want to support them to be the best possible version of themselves, you know. And that's most important to me. And if people aren't lifting me up, like, I'll just cut them out of my life. I, you know, sometimes, you know, not so much anymore, but I used to get a lot of comments on stuff that I used to share. And yeah, if it's a healthy debate, I'll have it. But if people comment something, I just won't even give it my energy. I'll just block them straight away, you know. It's like I just haven't got energy for people who are holding me back in life. And I'm sure you can relate to that as well.
100%. I want to dig deep into this because I don't want to give them the time of day, but I always do want to raise awareness on this. So you started putting content out, being proud of who you are, accepting who you are, accepting your flaws, being open about drug abuse, abuse with partners. So talk to me about, you know, you started posting content. How did it make you feel when you had these fucking idiots, negative comments on you, who were once friends that would probably have been in the kitchen with you sniffing gear?
Yeah. Well, at first it used to trigger me a bit. I used to get a bit pissed off and a bit angry. But now it doesn't really impact me anymore, because now I know that they're just, you know, they're just viewing it from their own limited mindset, you know? And yeah, now like I said, I haven't got time for it, you know? And if I spent my energy and my time giving a fuck what everyone thought, that would hold me back. You know, if I spent all my energy in fear around what other people might think about me or what they say behind my back, you know, that's just going to hold me back. I haven't got time for that, you know? It's like people are always going to judge you, whether you're on a more spiritual path, or whether you're growing or evolving, or whether you're not, whether you're just a normal person who's still doing the same thing 9 till 5, going out on the weekends, you're still going to be judged by people. People are always going to judge us no matter what. But like, obviously, if you start growing and if you change the way you are and posting different stuff, you're going to probably get more judgments and more projections from people. And I actually think that's a good sign. Like if you're triggering people, if people piss you off, if you piss people off, that's a good sign, because it means that you're growing and you're evolving and you're challenging their limiting beliefs, you know? So yeah, now I actually take it as like a bit of a compliment. If I piss people off, it's like, yes, I'm doing the right thing. It's like, thank you for letting me know that I'm on the right path.
The power of perspective.
Yeah, it's like, rather than like, oh no, they're pissed off at me, they shouldn't be pissed off at me, they're wrong, I'm right. It's like, actually no, they're entitled to their own belief. Like, I'm not right and they're not wrong. It's the way it is. We all have our own beliefs and it's what's true to us individually. And it's like, yeah, I'm obviously doing something right, you know?
It's magical what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely magical. So fucking unique as well. And I love that there's just zero fucks.
Yeah.
With all of the content that I see. And there's been some fucking mad stuff that I would never have in a million years. But I was at a party once and some kiddie mentioned your name. And I was like, my ears popped up and I was like, hell fucking no am I having this.
Yeah.
And they said it's not normal. I said, what's not normal? They said that the way that Jordan's living his life at the moment, I told you about this. And I was like, what's normal to you? The fact that, do you think Jordan sees you waking up, going to work in a rat race, like probably dreading that you've got to pay your bills, come to the weekend and you're escaping reality? Do you think Jordan sees that as normal? What is normal? There is no normal. And it's the small, and I literally looked at the geese and I thought, you small-minded little bastard. Because how can you not look at that and just think, I just want that person to be happy?
Yeah. And ultimately, I think people who put other people down is because they're unhappy with themselves. You know, it's like you're reflecting back to them the parts that they don't love about themselves, or the parts of their life that they don't appreciate, you know? So they're like, oh no, you know, what he's doing is weird, blah, 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 you know? And it's like, it's just a reflection of their own insecurities.
Is that person would definitely be in, like, I'd love to be able to just, you know, fucking express who I am as a person. No, it might be someone that fucking loves Star Wars and wants to go to Star Wars conventions, but no, they've got to have to Stone Island on going to the football on a Saturday because they're too scared to drop their fucking ego and actually live an authentic life how they should be.
Yeah, no.
And look at the growth that happens, because look what the universe fucking brings into your life.
Yeah, and it's so fucking liberating to just drop the fears and the stories of what other people think and just to be authentic. And I'm sure you can relate, just to be able to be you, you know, and for that to be okay. It's so liberating. It's like, oh, I can just be myself, and it doesn't matter what people think, because, you know, people are always going to judge me anyway. And a lot of the time it's just stories in our head that people are judging us, but actually they're not. Yeah, you know?
That's, I think when we overthink what people think about us, that's deep down subconsciously how we see ourselves or how we see other people going to see us. It's bullshit. The only it's our imagination. The only thing we actually know is real now is the fact that we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
We don't know what anything. I don't even know what Laurie's doing now.
Yeah.
Could be on Tinder, could be on fucking WhatsApp, probably going to be on Tinder. Okay. But the only thing that we actually know categorically is true in this universe right now is the fact that we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
So the fear and the thoughts that we have of what other people might look at us and judge us and see us as certain people, that's bollocks. It's just the news. Just turn it off.
Yeah.
Unless someone comes up to you and says you're an absolute cunt, it's all waffle. It's imagination.
Yeah. And I also think it's important to accept people's projections. Like if we do something and then 5 people come up to us telling us that we're a cunt, it's like, all right, there might be a bit of truth to that. You know, it's like, yes, it's just projection, but also it's like, okay, I'm still being willing to look within myself. Like, okay, is it possible that I was a bit of a cunt there? You know, and also, so I think it's important to say that as well. That it's also important to reflect. You know, if people share with us our certain behaviours of ours, you know, to have the willingness to be like, oh, maybe I did step out of line or something. You know, so
massively. I've just done something recently. I asked 3 of my closest people that I see on a daily basis what my best and worst traits are, because I wanted them people to see if they came up with the same thing. It's the same opinion of what my negatives were, because I want to make sure I'm the best possible version of myself. I don't want to have arrogance and be naive just because I'm a coach, like, oh, I can't do any wrong.
Yeah.
I saw some stuff in there and I thought, I had no idea to it. But unless you face them issues head on, there's no growth. If you believe there's no negative of you, there is no growth whatsoever.
No, there's always room for improvement. Like, we are not perfect. It's not possible to be a perfect human being. There's always going to be growth there. So I think, the willingness to be humble and to look within and like, where can I still grow? Where can I still be a better person? I think is so important.
So talk to me about the journey that you've been on, in the sense of like going deep into relationships, polyamorous relationships, is it? Do you mind touching base on
polyamory?
Polyamory, yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really experienced it too much, to be honest, but when me and my current partner got together 2 years ago, we were like, okay, well, we tried open relating, we tried having multiple lovers, but like in a way a lot different to how it was when I was in Ayia Napa, where there was this no transparency, you know? It's like I'd be with one girl and the next night I'd be a different girl and like pretend I wasn't with one the night before. It's like, okay, if I feel attraction and love towards someone, I share that with my partner. Like, oh, I'm feeling attraction, you know? And like, for it to be all out in the open, for them to be communicating and for them to be, you know, respecting each other in that way. And it didn't really work out that well because we were both a bit immature in how we, I guess, were relating, and we were both new to it. So, all right, let's just close it up for a bit. You know, let's focus on each other. And then when we've built enough trust and safety, which is really important, there really needs to be trust there, you know, because, you know, if my girlfriend comes to me and like, oh, I met this other guy, I'm really attracted to him, you know, I might hang out. If I don't trust her, you know, my nervous system's going to be like, no, she's going to leave me for him, you know? I don't feel her here with me, committed, you know? So it's really important, to have trust and to feel safe. And it goes a lot, like this type of relationships goes a lot against conditioning, because we're conditioned, to believe that monogamy is the only way, to have one partner is the only way. And if we're connecting with other people outside of that, then that's wrong or that's dirty, and it's been this conditioning and these beliefs have been drilled into us by religion, Christianity. If you have sex before marriage, that's wrong, that's evil, if you have more than one partner, that's evil, and that's just belief structures, just like anything. It's like beliefs, so yeah, so we haven't really apart from that first time, we have experienced more openness, but more in the community where I am, there is people who practice more open relating, and it's beautiful being able to openly share love with people, and it's beautiful, and it can also be challenging because if you're insecure in yourself in any way, that stuff will come straight to the surface. Like if you doubt yourself, if you compare yourself to other people, if you get jealous, if you get possessive, all of that stuff will come to the surface straight away. And so it can be an opportunity. It can be an opportunity to address where you're insecure. So it's kind of like shadow work, so you can use it as a way to actually grow. Like, all right, I'm feeling a bit jealous right now. How can I fully own it? How can I share with my partner that I'm feeling jealous that she's with someone else? And how can I use it to actually grow so that I become less jealous? How can I use it in a way so that I become less insecure? So it can actually be used as a way to grow personally,
So talk to me about the first time that obviously you got yourself in that situation, because insecurities, I think, doesn't matter how much self-work you've done to come up against that situation.
Yeah.
Your brain is just going to go, whoop, back to 18, 19-year-old Biff, alpha male. How is someone going to come in and fucking try and, meet up with my woman? Talk to me about that, because you would have had to, bring your brain to a still and realise where you were.
Yeah.
Because we're not programmed that way.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a few occasions, but one of them is like the only way to overcome that stuff, if my partner's connecting with someone, right, and I feel if I go into comparison, like, and putting myself down, like, oh, why is she? Is there a phone going off? I thought I turned it off, but it is swipe.
No, it's a good thing, mate. I'll happily let that
Yeah.
interrupt, keep that running. So
Yeah.
basically, in that one,
Yeah.
we'll keep this in.
Yeah, we won't edit this out.
We won't edit this out. So me and Jordan were having a sit down the other day, and both of our phones just started randomly going off. And basically what we do is we set an alarm 2-3 times a day to check in with ourselves. So every single time that alarm goes off, sit back. How am I feeling? Am I present? Have I made the most of this morning? Have I been able to, get the most out of the experience? And that was probably one of the best experiences. And that's when we both just because we just coached a workshop the night before, I think it was. And we both just looked at each other just like, how far have we fucking come?
Yeah. So we can use that as a reminder for everyone watching this. How present are you right now? Are you achieving your goals today? Just take 1-2 seconds just to tune in with yourself.
That's it. Good. Always a lesson, even in a negative.
Yeah.
So carry on about sort of.
So yeah, the only way to deal with that stuff, if I'm getting jealous or possessive, is to fully fucking own it. Say it to my partner, and even bring it to the guy who I'm feeling jealous about. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this way. I just want to share that with you, and like. Yeah, if they receive you in that and like, oh, bro, like I feel you, I've been there before. It's like, that's what creates the healing, that's what helps you to move beyond it. Like, oh, it's okay to feel like this. And actually, I don't need to feel like this anymore. So yeah, there's a few times where I felt like that. And, if you just pretend it's not there, that's when it just stays there and it eats away, it just festers. So if you're able to bring it up and just like talk about it, feel it, share it with your partner, that's what creates the healing for me.
That is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, so it's like, there's so many different ways that you can, polyamory isn't just one way there's so many different ways that you can do it, But for me, it's like, how can I use it as a way to build community, Because it's like, if my partner's connecting with someone, I want to feel him as a bro. I want to feel him as a brother. I want to be able to reach out to him and him to reach out to me, and for there not to be competition there, for actually there to be like a support, you know, like a mutual support. Like we're in this together. It's like, yes, you might be sharing intimacy with my partner, but I want to be able to celebrate that. I want to be able to celebrate the beauty of my partner experiencing love with someone else, because love's beautiful, you know. And similarly, I want my partner to celebrate me. If I'm feeling love towards someone, it's like, can you celebrate me and feeling love for someone? You know, it's like love doesn't just want to, for me, love just doesn't want to come through me towards one person. Love wants to go to multiple people. You know, I just want to share love and receive love of different people. And it's like, can we just fucking celebrate that and normalize that, you know? And I'm not saying that polyamory is the only way. There's nothing wrong with monogamy, and there's nothing wrong with celibacy, which is being on your own and not connected with anyone. They all have their own pros and cons, you know? They all have their own gifts, you know, and their own challenges, you know. There's no right way or wrong way, you know.
Talk to me about why you don't think that's seen as, I believe that should just be the norm. I think showing love, being passionate, being openly vulnerable, I think it should just be the normal. Why do you think it's not the normal in your day to day? Because I imagine if we had that relationship when we was in Napa competing against each other.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, it's just conditioning, you know. We're conditioned to believe having one partner is the only way, and anything outside of that, you're a cheat, you're a scumbag, you know. And yeah, you can be a cheat and a scumbag if you do it the wrong way, if you're sleeping with lots of women behind their backs. But what about if you were completely open and honest with each one, and there was full consent? You know, because if you're cheating on people, you're violating their consent, you know, that they didn't consent to sleep with you if you slept with someone else the night before. You know, that's actually a violation. But what if you were to be fully honest and be like, this is how I'm choosing to live my life. You can either join me, but if you don't want to join me, that's completely fine. I understand, you know. So yeah, it comes back to just conditioning, you know. We're conditioned that there's only a certain way to share love and intimacy, when actually there's a million fucking ways, you know. And I've experienced it, and I'm still on a very early stages, but that's where I aspire to be. I aspire to have multiple lovers where that we actually support each other to grow and to evolve. And it's a beautiful way to live. I mean, it's challenging, and it forces you to look within yourself and work through, you know, as I said, all your insecurities. But to me, that's just another way to grow.
How fucking much you've grown is absolutely ridiculous. Like, goosebumps, man. I'm so proud of you. Talk to me about your passion now. I'm literally on his case non-stop to get him into coaching. Tell me about sort of your vision and sort of where you see yourself down the line, because you're going to change the world in some way or another. I think together, I don't think there's anyone out there really that's doing anything for the generation that isn't either money motivated or a genuine authentic reason behind it. So talk to me about sort of what's the legacy that you want to leave.
Yeah. Well, yeah, to me, like, I was quite passionate about sexuality, because that was a journey that I went on, a healing journey of myself, you know, giving up pornography addiction and all the unhealthy behaviors. So I healed that part of myself. So I was like, I could help people who suffer from addictive sexual behaviors. But now I'm not, although I have a lot of knowledge, I don't feel passionate about it anymore. Like, if people come to me and they want help, I'm willing to help them, but it's not like what's really lighting me up. At the moment, what's really lighting me up is just like, kind of just, if people were like on the verge of wanting more from life, you know, if people are really dissatisfied with drugs, alcohol, relationships, and they want to maybe go down more of like a spiritual path, or more, you know, get more connected to themselves, get more confident, drop all the fears and stories of what other people might think, you know, pursue a new career, you know, have healthier relationships. That's kind of what I feel inspired to help people with. That's what's lighting me up, is people who just want more, people who are dissatisfied in life, people who find it hard to get out of bed, you know, people who just want to experience deeper friendships, deeper, you know, relationships, who just want to experience, who just want to come alive, you know, just tired of feeling stuck in life.
People that are watching this are probably thinking, well, how the fuck do you find that? How the fuck do you find like-minded people that want to do that? What advice would you give to them? Because there'll be a lot of people, and I would say 90% of the generation now will be just thinking, like, I'm just stuck in this fucking toxic lifestyle of fucking Instagram and fucking social media and comparing myself all the time. Where would these people find community?
Well, I would say find what you want. You know, if you want to find yoga, if you want to find, you know, like, there's some really good sober dance parties at the moment. I went to one last night in London. It was fucking epic. 120 plus people in a church just raving sober, not giving a fuck, you know. That's where people were like, they're alive, you know. People would they don't give a fuck what people think, you know. So it's like, find out what, like, sit down, you know, contemplate what is it that you want, and then, okay, where do these types of people hang out, you know, and just move past the fears, you know, of meeting new people, of, you know, not being accepted by that group of people, or feeling like an outsider or an imposter or whatever. And yeah, you know, do something courageous, you know, just go and find people that hang out in the type of people that you want to hang out with, and cut people out of your life that are toxic, you know.
How important is that?
So important, you know. It's like, I know you know this one, but it's like the top 5 people that we spend our time with have the most impact on us, you know. So it's like, and it might even be family. It might be family that have an impact, and that's a fucking tough one. But for me, my growth and my evolution is so important that if people are holding me back, whether it's family, friends or whatever, I'm willing to distance myself and let people go, because my path is the most important thing to me.
I'll definitely done it. You've got to be ruthless with it. I mean, it's no secret. I'll cut my brother off for a good 2.5 years because he just didn't serve me anymore. It just caused more of a fucking headache than it was worth. I think people come into the habit of like, oh, it's blood, you know, you only get one. But no, it's just absolute waffle. If you only get one person and it's blood, they'd never have you feeling in that headspace in the first place. Talk to me about the journey heading forward then. What's the plans once you leave here? Well, we're off to Ibiza together next week. Well, you go tomorrow and I'll meet you out there next week.
Back to the promised land.
So talk to me about the journey from then on and what you're going to be getting up to.
I'm going to be offering more of my stuff out on social media, offer more of my work. So there'll be more opportunities to work with me. Just sharing more of my journey, you know, in the hope that people get something from what I post. People, you know, even if it just makes something click in one person, like, oh, you know, that actually makes a bit of sense. And, that's what I'm all about. I'm all about just being in service to people and helping people. And, like I said before, just people who just want more from life, you know, whether that's relationships, whether that's physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, if people just want to go down a different path and experience the richness and the beauty that life has to offer outside of what they've been used to their whole life, you know, it's like I want to take people with me. Life can be difficult for me sometimes, but my life is so fucking beautiful. Like I just love being alive, you know, and it's like I want people to come along for the journey, you know. I want to bring people along with me. So follow me on social media. Like I just want people to come along for the journey, bro.
Yeah, I'll put your tags in there definitely. Yeah, make sure people go and keep an eye out for it. What a fucking journey! It's mad because I'm sitting here and it's the podcast that I just knew basically start to finish. But I just wanted to just make sure that you got that word out and that you've inspired so many people. Because there'll be so many people that are in a life of crime or unhappy relationships, and you know, people think in society these days that love is games and anxiety and waiting for text backs and, you know, fucking just constantly being a person that constantly feels like they have to prove themselves financially. But I think you'll definitely open up the eyes to so many people, especially in your content. I mean, Dane was on before, and he was just saying how your content's just massively helped him out with his vision and love, etc. Yeah. So thank you so much for telling the journey, bro.
No worries, bro. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Melior means for the pursuit of the better in Latin.
Yeah.
How would you plan on pursuing the better in life?
How would I plan on pursuing the better? That's a good question. Just to me, the most important thing is just like honoring life, you know, and honoring love. And I guess I know it's a bit vague, but what that looks like is like, if I feel inspired to do something, or, you know, if I feel inspired to help people or whatever, just like not holding back and not letting my own fears and my own limiting beliefs stop me from doing that. It's like, how can I fully just honor the life that wants to come through me, which ultimately is to serve, you know? It's like we're all here to serve each other in some way. So it's like, how can I just fully just allow life to come through me without letting it, get blocked off by all my own shit. That's my plan.
That's good. And I definitely, you are on that journey to already currently creating that, mate. So I can't wait to watch it all unfold. Been a pleasure to interview my best mate.
Cheers, bro.
And learn more about you in depth.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being so open and honest. Thank you for showing your emotion at the start.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will benefit from this, so I hope you got something from it as well.
Yeah. No, I loved it. Cheers, bro.
Good man. Thank you for watching. I massively appreciate it. Honestly, this one means a lot to me to be able to sit here and listen to your journey, mate. So thank you so much. If there is anyone that has struggled with anything, please reach out. Get in touch with Jordan. His DMs will definitely be open, and he's here to serve people. That does happen without having an ulterior motive. I promise you that. Rare breed, didn't we? I'm telling you. As always, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and push this into the path of someone you may feel benefit from it. Melly, a fucking movement, baby.
Melly, a movement, baby.